CM Punk! CM Punk! CM Punk! CM Punk's UFC debut, after all the hype, after like 50 delays to the fight because CM Punk was hurt, CM Punk was sick, CM Punk got a paper cut, CM Punk had to, go through a crosswalk, CM Punk ran into a red light. You get what I'm saying here. After all these delays before the fight, after all the hype, all the 2-hour vignettes leading up to the fight, CM Punk gets squashed by Mickey Gall. And you know what? There's not really room for wrestling terms in other sports. When you watch this fight, there's not much more you can call this than a squash match. Mickey Gall, from bell to bell, squashed CM Punk. And on a little side note, before I get too much into it, I have to question Dana White's marketing techniques for all these 2-hour specials that he had going into the fight, trying to hype up CM Punk like he was this big deal. This is the equivalent of Vince McMahon dedicating the pre-show to Braun Strowman's opponents on Raw. And not only that, but the fact that you put CM Punk into a video game, a legitimate UFC video game, and made his overall a respectable, not great, 78 for a guy that's never had a fight in his life. And by the looks of this MMA fight, CM Punk has never had a legitimate fight in his life. So I'm sorry. This was fucking hilarious to me. This was fucking hilarious to a good portion of the internet fans that felt betrayed when CM Punk walked out, or that just fucking can't stand this guy's eerie, arrogant hubris about him that he always seems to bring into his interviews and into his specials, all that kind of stuff. Just this personality that he portrays to the public is just such a sweet, humble feeling watching CM Punk get his ass kicked for a good portion of 2 minutes. That what's so funny about this is that all of his fanboys that were going into the fight that were saying, oh, CM Punk's going to prove you wrong, he's going to be great, CM Punk's a great fighter, what are you talking about? He had a little background in jiu-jitsu before he got to the WWE. He used to kick people in ROH, and that's real, damn it. These same people that were hyping up Punk's fighting ability are now defending the fact that he just got his ass kicked for 2 minutes, and not even a 2-minute fight in his UFC debut. And don't give me this crap about Brock Lesnar losing his UFC debut and him bouncing back, because Brock Lesnar's first fight, it was obvious that the guy actually had a place in UFC because he beat the fuck out of Frank Mir for that entire fight, save for like the last 10 seconds when Frank Mir caught him in an ankle lock and made him tap out. And what this does is, I don't think anybody really cares, but me and MTO were talking about this and realized that this is actually true. Lesnar's match from SummerSlam 2013 actually makes Lesnar look a little bit weaker now, because he's squashing guys like John Cena and Randy Orton nowadays. And yet, when he fought CM Punk, when he wrestled CM Punk at SummerSlam 2013, Punk actually gave him a legitimate fight. And now we see that if these two guys were to step into an octagon, Brock Lesnar would maul the shit out of CM Punk. And not only that, on top of that, there were smarts that wanted CM Punk to beat Brock Lesnar, but I shouldn't be shocked, considering these are the same people that think it's okay that Finn Balor beats guys 5 times his size every week on Raw. You know Triple H and Vince McMahon were somewhere watching this fight and laughing their ass off just as hard as we are right now. And I would love to be a fucking fly on the wall just to hear all that shit talking that Vince and Triple H want to get out of their system. Again, back to the real point at hand here, aside from the fact that I'm laughing my ass off that CM Punk got his ass whooped after being this fucking cocky, arrogant person, acting like he fucking couldn't be beat or whatever. He's going to prove everybody wrong, and this happens. His fucking fanboys come on the internet, not just on the wrestling pages, like they legitimately went onto the UFC pages, and they're throwing around excuses like, well, we should respect them, even though they're fucking hero. Like, I understand where you're coming from with this, okay? You want to respect someone that had the balls to go into UFC and throw his name into the hat. The thing is, though, this person that you want us to respect, who claimed he has respect for everyone that's ever stepped into the octagon, did not show any respect to his opponent during the weigh-in when he was going for a handshake. And I don't know, it just seemed like what CM Punk was going for was he wanted to be this big draw like these asshole fighters do, but he also wanted to be this whole humble guy to earn the respect of real UFC fans. But the difference between what CM Punk was doing to try and get people to want to watch his fight and the people who can actually draw in this industry, like Floyd Mayweather, like Conor McGregor, is the fact that these guys can actually back up what the fuck they're talking about. These guys go out there and win their fights. This is the equivalent of the drunk guy at a party who wants to pick a fight with the biggest guy there for no reason. He just wants to prove that he's this tough guy in front of his girlfriend. I don't know if you can even really call this an excuse, but something else that his fucking fanboys are saying is that, oh, well, yeah, I'm sure he's gonna go home and cry on his millions of dollars and his hot wife. Okay, let me put this into perspective, anybody that has that mindset. Aside from the fact that Roman Reigns was ostracized for saying something similar to this after WrestleMania 31, you can't just go straight to that just because your guy didn't fucking do anything. Do you know why you're going to that argument? Because CM Punk did not show you anything in that fight to solidify your claims before the fight, saying that this guy stood a chance. And another beautiful thing about this should kill off CM Punk chants once and for all. Because if you're still out there in those fucking arenas, fucking screaming your lungs out, getting loogies all over the person in front of you because you want to chant for CM Punk, you should be embarrassed just as bad as him. Because you're still cheering for a guy after that fucking humiliating performance that doesn't make any fucking sense. Especially if you're one of these people that was saying, well, he's going to go to his hot wife and his $1 million at home, because you literally say that because you can't stand by him because he sucked so bad. So if you still if anything, you should be chanting millions of dollars and hot wife, because that's the only thing you're standing next to now that he's gotten his ass whooped in this fight. So after the fight, CM Punk cuts, well, I don't really think you could call this cutting a promo, but he talks to Joe Rogan in a post-fight interview. CM Punk tried to turn this into a thing. Again, this is another thing that pisses a lot of people off about CM Punk's persona. The fact that he can turn something where he got his fucking ass whooped, like just fucking mauled in there, and he can still turn this into something where, well, this should be an inspirational thing that you should never give up. I love you. You should never give up. Like, for all these promos that he cut against John Cena being this goofball, not being the best or whatever, didn't this promo kind of sound a lot like something John Cena would say? Guys, I used to like CM Punk a lot. Back in 2011, 2012, this guy was like my favorite. Even after he walked out, I had thought, okay, CM Punk's still an okay guy, but no. And then once I heard that interview with Colt Cabana, it just completely changed my perception. Like, holy shit. This guy is a hypocrite, he's condescending, he's contradicting, he's an asshole, he's a dick. For someone that buried someone like Batista for coming back and making a lot of money and headlining a pay-per-view over guys who had worked for years, who had all this experience over Batista, who were quote-unquote so much better than Batista. For someone who walked out of the WWE, well, that was one of the main reasons that he walked out of WWE, to go into the UFC, taking the spot of someone who had worked for many years before that, instead of paying his dues in Bellator or a smaller MMA company. You know, since you guys like to say that the indies are where you pay your dues, why is it okay for CM Punk not to pay his dues in what is the indies for MMA and Bellator and Pride fighting? Oh, that's right. He went to UFC because he's a spotlight whore, money grabbing, hypocritical parasite who was taking the opportunity of the young talent. This fight should be the death of internet smarks. Because their biggest hero, the leader of their pack, the one who pretty much started this movement, once he went in there with someone who was legit, ended up looking like the Titanic on the third hour of that movie. He ended up looking like Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez in the fourth fight. He ended up looking like John Cena when he faced Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014. He ended up looking like Titus O'Neil on the mic 2 weeks ago on Raw. And he ended up looking like what Finn Balor would look like if he got into a legitimate fight with any of the three guys that he beat clean.